Hello, and welcome to Chaos to Clarity, the podcast that's your compass to navigate the exciting world of service based businesses. If you're a determined woman in your current business adventure, striving to conquer the chaos and build your empire, then you are in the right place. I'm your host, Maggie, your go to business bestie and chaos navigator. I've spent nearly 2 decades in the service based industry, building a photography business, a yoga studio, and now a thriving coaching practice. I've cracked the code to consistent income without all the chaos and noise. So get ready to increase your business growth, connect with your ideal clients, and find ease in both business and in life. It's time to turn your frustrations into inspiration and your chaos into clarity. So go ahead and grab your coffee, a pen and paper, and let's dive into the journey of building your dream service-based business together. Are you ready? Let's go. All right, everyone, welcome back to season 2 of interviews for the Chaos to Clarity podcast. My name is Maggie, and I am your host. I'm your Chaos to Clarity business mentor, human design specialist, all the things we all know. I'm multi-passionate and love to bring others who are also multi-passionate. So today I have Kusha on with me, and Kusha, I'm going to let you take it away and tell everyone what you do and who you are.
Thank you so much, Maggie. I'm super excited to be here, and it is always a pleasure to, have a good chat with you, just like we did a couple of minutes back. So I'm Kusha. I am based out of India, and I am a confidence coach and a brand expert, and the founder of the Bespoke Designs. I love, love, love to work with experienced female coaches who are struggling to build their brand and struggling doing it DIY, and I help them with my bespoke brand makeover programs. And I've been working online now since 2018 as a as a branding expert. But definitely, I do have a background in corporate. I've worked about 12, 13 plus years before I, took that leap of faith and started something of my own. So this is a little bit about me.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love that. I love that you also worked in corporate. I worked in corporate for about 8 years. And about 10 years ago, I left corporate. So now I like to joke that I am unemployable by a corporation because I've been out of corporate for so long that I'm like, my husband will
Yes.
come home and he'll tell me about his day. And I'm like, yeah, that would just not fly with me. Like, I would have thoughts that, like, would probably not be acceptable anymore in a corporate situation.
I so
Ah.
agree with you on this. We're in the same boat, by
Oh
the
my
way.
gosh. Oh, that's too funny. So I would love to know, since you are a coach and you help people with confidence, and then you also help on the branding side, I'm curious how conversations have helped you grow your business. So I'm help a lot of people have conversations, and I think it's really interesting to hear how, like, conversations, and that could be around lead gen or collaborations, but how have conversations really helped you grow your business?
So I think one of the ways that conversations has been, key in my business is where I've been a part of a lot of networking events. I've also collaborated with other coaches, and tried to make sure that I do the right positioning for my business because I feel that they go parallelly together. One is the marketing side, the other is the branding side. So I make sure that, and I also give this recommendation to all my clients that make sure while you're busy marketing your business, your offers, your services, getting those leads, make sure you also become a point of authority. Make sure you are positioning yourself as an expert and make sure you are conscious about this fact that when people are coming to you, it's not just because of your service, but it's more so because of who you are and how they connect with you. So my conversations are literally directed towards knowing the internal side of people, knowing their story, knowing their journey, knowing their experience, And then I think I have this gift. I feel that I'm able to extract gifts of my clients, so I'm able to bring out that hidden talent which somehow they're shying away from, or which somehow they feel that they're not still good at it and they're not worthy enough. And so I feel those conversations, I feel that those kind of networking which I tend to do, which is more like a one-to-one conversation, not in a group setup. So I feel those heart-to-heart conversations have led me to build so many good connections, bring in, long lasting relationship now with my clients. I mean, some of them are like my best friends, really. And also have those kind of, like that kind of a image which is made about me, that if anybody wants to know who's good in branding, or we're looking for somebody in branding, so oh yeah, we know someone. So I'm like a memory in the corner of their brain. So I feel that conversations can do so much for your business, in terms of building authority, in terms of building your brand, and of course in terms of growth.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love so much of that. And I absolutely agree with you, right? When you can have some of those more natural conversations where you're learning about people, now all of a sudden, like you stick in their brain and vice versa, right? So that conversation piece is so important. And I'm curious when it comes to like lead generation, I'm sure you probably just like me have tried a little bit of everything. What do you feel like has been one of the most effective like lead gen strategies that you've implemented, right? Because we all know there's probably a lead
Christopher.
gen strategy for everyone. Like literally there's probably 9 billion of them. But
Yeah.
I'm curious, like what have you tried and what do you feel like has worked the best for you?
Okay, and I love this because I've tried and tested this, and there are two ways, in fact. So the first one is which helped me to build my own Facebook group, and right now I've got about 1,300 plus people. And the way I did it was literally having conversations, right? And the
Yeah.
way conversations happens is you can also use this mode of communication in the form of doing trainings, workshops, live videos. So, the best thing which I had in my mind was that because I'm a branding and a confidence coach, I thought, let me start by talking more about, my service and what really branding is all about. And so and I normally have used Facebook, by the way, for the most of the time, since all these years. So the best part for me in terms of generating leads was that I used to conduct live trainings on my own page. I used to become a guest expert in other people's Facebook groups. I used to I used to even be in paid Facebook groups, like you had to literally pay so that you were allowed to, do live videos and training and so on. And I feel that was one of the best return on investment that I could get or that I could make, because that group was huge and I knew what I wanted to talk about and I knew there were people looking for answers. All I had to do was book a date every week and every other week and show up and talk about my thing and leave the link for my own Facebook group. And that's
Mhm.
it. That's all I did, Maggie, and I got all my leads coming in from there. So much that I was overwhelmed that how do I even organize it? How do I collect emails? And then I had to find some kind of a software in the background which could help me carry leads and just do the whole magic in behind the scenes for me. But I feel that's one of the most simplest, easiest, seamless. You don't need like a sales page, no funnel. The most simple, easy manner of generating leads is show up live on your page, show up live in your, collaborate with other people in the say who have like a common audience, and again do some kind of a masterclass or a workshop, and then give one single call to action. And mine was because I was building my Facebook group back then. So that was my simple call to action.
Mhm.
Depending on others, they could have like a freebie, a ebook, or a checklist. So And there you go, leads are just coming your way. So I think that was the best way that worked for me. The second one is, of course, where now, which is the one I'm doing currently, where I'm participating. Again, this is also collaboration. So I'm participating in bundles, in summits. I have like a freebie, which I'm offering them. And then from there, I'm collecting, tons and tons of leads. Again, I think this is one of the most simplest, easiest way, because we're all coming together with the same goal of getting leads, and then going back and using them the way we want to, according to our services that we have to offer. So these are, I think, the two best ways, according to my experience, that have worked really well for me.
Yeah, I love that. And I think, something that people, at least a lot of people that I connect with, they've never really collaborated with anyone before. So I think collaboration tends to be this big, like, oh my gosh, what is it? Do I have to like do, like this really intricate
Mm.
collaboration, or can it be something as simple as, swapping on IG lives or doing a podcast swap or whatever. And, like for me, I love collaborations, and really that's built into my human design, right? Like that is literally part of me. So, I think that's something else like I help people learn how to like collaborate where it feels really good for them, where they feel really excited about it. So, to hear you talk about how much you collaborated, like it gives me goosebumps. It makes me so excited because I think, for so long, at least I would say from like I don't know. It was probably prior to 2017, but I noticed it the most in 2017 to like probably 2021. You could just like
Mm.
throw a link on Facebook or on Instagram. People would click it, people would buy the
Yes.
thing, right? And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, this is
Yeah.
not working anymore, right? And
Yes.
I think now people want to know more about who they're talking to. Like,
Yes. Yes.
why should they book with me? Why should they
That's right.
book with you? Right. So telling the story, having the conversations, collaboration, right? Being able to like get out there more, I think is so important now.
Yes.
But I'm curious. So I know before we started recording, we talked a little bit about human design.
Yes.
And you had said you were a 5-2 generator. So I'm curious how, knowing that the 2 line is the hermit, where you kind of want to like retreat back, you like your alone time, right? You're we were joking before that like 2 lines like to cancel plans. Um, so I'm curious how, when you think about collaborating, knowing that you might be a little more introverted, can you share a little bit about how that works for you?
Yes. And again, this comes because, and this is a great question. And now that we're talking through human design, I don't mind going back to, what I struggled with initially. Because when I started, so I actually started online in about 2016 as a coach, by the way. I didn't start as a brand expert. So, and prior to starting online, I was in corporate and I was a trainer, which means I was high on energy. I was super enthusiastic. I knew how to attract the attention and retain the attention of, almost 100 plus people in the room. And take two, I'm now at home in my room, surrounded by four walls, and there is a laptop and there is a dot of the camera, and I'm supposed to look at it and speak to nobody, right? So,
Right.
and trust me, it was overwhelming. It was scary as crap, and I felt crap, and I had to make so many efforts because I used to sit and judge myself. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
not looking good. Maybe I need to do makeup. So every time I had to go live, it was like a half an hour pre makeup session, and and everybody in my home is like, what is wrong with her? And the whole world would know, that I'm going to go on camera. So it was crazy, Maggie, because
Yeah.
it was that hermit thing, which did not allow me to show up just the way I am. And just because of this, I could not launch myself as a coach back then.
Hmm.
And I was at a stage in 2018 where I was almost deciding on giving up on this thing called online business, right? But my purpose was very strong because I'm a single mom. So I decided I wanted to be home full time and have that freedom and flexibility. So that's the reason I took that leap of faith, right? And now I'm sitting here thinking, dude, nothing's working, I'm a coach and I'm a certified coach, and I'm not able to, establish myself or, just create something, online. And I had to take a pivot because my goal was clear that I'm going to do something at home.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I switched my brain and tried to figure out what else can I do, because I was a trainer. So I was like, okay, wait a minute. So I know that, I had to do this shift in my mindset. I had to
Mm-hmm.
stop, focusing on myself and focus on my clients, on my audience, that who is that person that I'm going live for, So I had to understand this, that it's not about me, it's about the people who need that kind of solution, and I have that for them. And then I used to even practice, in empty face. So I created like a Facebook group just for this purpose, where there was zero
Oh.
members, and I sat and I did my practice. And and I even had other coaches who were like part of a mastermind, so we used to support each other, we used to cheer each other, we used to go live, and we used to make sure that one of them would be a part of it, because this helped us to gain that confidence. And that's where people lack confidence. And I realized this because as I was evolving in my own business, I knew that branding cannot happen without confidence,
Yeah.
because people can't show up, people struggle, people get stuck, people doubt themselves, they take one step forward and then something goes wrong and then they take two steps back. And that's when, Maggie, I was able to bring back my coaching element. So, and that's exactly how it happened, that I'm able to cater to the confidence coaching aspect, and also give them like the done for you service in terms of a branding expert. So I know it can be difficult, where sometimes I don't want to show up, but it's work. You have to practice, you have to make sure every day you focus and you align your mind and your thoughts in the right direction.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love that so much. And I think, there's a lot of people who talk about consistency and, and they're like, consistency, no, right? Because I think so many people hear consistency and think hustle, right? At least that's what it was in
Mm.
my mind.
Yes.
And I feel like, like for me, I definitely feel that because so I graduated college in 2007 and then I started my photography business and I went into corporate. So like literally I was hustling and like
Mm.
I feel like everyone was talking about, oh, I'm hustling, I'm doing this, I got my side hustle, I got that hustle, blah, blah, blah. And so it became like all of a sudden, at least for me, when I left corporate, I was like, I am tired. I am
Mm.
tired. And for like a year after I left corporate, it was like I like slept and I just allowed myself that like,
Yes.
okay, I don't have to work 80 hours a week. It doesn't
Mm.
have to be like that. Um, and then I had no consistency, right? Like after that year, I was like, I'm just gonna fly by the seat of my pants and screw around and see what happens, right? Like I'm just gonna do that. And like safe to say, like that really doesn't work. Like having a
Mm.
strategy behind things definitely helps more, but I also realized that like my confidence was lacking, right? In that time period, in that like shift. So, when I bought the yoga studio in 2014, I was like, okay, I have to up my confidence and I have to show up. But exactly what you said, like, who is the person I'm showing up for? Because a lot of times, like, our businesses, they are ours, but they're not really
Mm.
about us,
Us,
right? At
yes.
the end of the day, they're about the client that we're serving, that we're helping.
Yes.
So, taking that mindset shift to like I love the question, who is the person I'm going live for? Like that can be so huge. And I think for, like two lines or anyone who's listening who feels really introverted, I think that is really important to remember that like number one, consistency can look like what you need it to look like. And number two, like what does your audience need to hear? What do they want to hear? I think that is a really fascinating like way to look at business. And I think a lot of people get stuck in this like they make their business about themselves and then they get stuck there
Mm,
and then it feels hard
yes.
and then like they're like I can't do this so I'm
Mm,
just going to be done.
yes.
um I love that. So I would love to know, have you been like bringing in more elements of your human design, or are you still kind of in that like curious kind of understanding type phase? Like, how has human design affected your business right now?
So I think I'm still in the understanding phase. I
Yeah.
am kind of super curious to know about my personality, and anytime I get the opportunity, I read somewhere something related to my human design chart. I will suddenly just, stop everything and I'll try and read that and try and absorb it and then try and relate it with my business. Very recently, I also had the opportunity to speak with one of the business coaches, and she kind of, and I shared my human design chart with her, and she kind of came back to me and she told me, like which part of my human design is causing me not to be able to, not be able to show up fully, or how I can improve on my messaging and so on and so forth. So I am always on the lookout for learning more about my human design chart, definitely. But again, I am not someone who would, just depend on it entirely, because I
Hmm.
do know that that is a part of me, but there is also the other aspect or the other side of me, which I have been doing all these years, isn't it? So it's not that today suddenly that I know about human design, that's the only, that's going to change everything for me. It will improvise, it will help me improvise, but I don't want to be like depending on just that. I want to still continue doing my tried and tested things. I still want to show up the way I have been able to show up and get success. And I just want to use human design as an add-on.
Hmm.
It's not like a know-it-all for me, I would say. I would want it to be like a add-on, like a bonus, that now I have this extra, like a tool which I can use anytime I feel stuck. So I'm already using other kind of methodologies, maybe changing strategy, working on the content, reworking how my schedule should be, and so on and so forth. And then now I have like, okay, wait, maybe there isn't, it's not about all this. Maybe it's just about, like for example, she told me that you need to change your environment. If you're like a 5-2 is someone who, if they're in a particular place for a long time, then their creativity gets blocked. So maybe all you need to do is just shift and change your environment, because that helps you, that allows you to let your thoughts flow freely. So it's like such a small change that I need to do,
Yeah.
and I can still continue doing all the other things that I've done. So yeah, in
Right.
short, it's an add-on for me, really.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that's so important, right? Because it's also, even though I talk about it a lot, I mean, number one, there is a lot to talk about. Like human design is a whole rabbit hole that for me, I never really thought I would go down. But it is such a cool tool to like get to know yourself. And especially when you get into those like the creativity rut you were talking about, right? And just
Yes.
switching something as simple as switching your environment, right? Whether that is, like even just doing something in the room that you're in, like sitting a different way or going to a different room or even to a different like place, something as small as that and understanding like how that like affects you and like if that can help you unlock some of those creativity blocks, I think that is so powerful. So I love, using human design similarly, where it's like, what are these little things I can do to get to know myself better, which ultimately is going to unlock more creativity, more things for my clients to tap into. I think it's such a powerful way to use human design.
Absolutely. Yes, I so agree with you on this.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so my last question is from previous seasons of interviews, and it is probably my favorite question. I can't get rid of it. If you were a kitchen utensil or gadget, what would you be and why?
Nobody's ever asked me this question, and this is such an interesting one. Oh my God. Oh, damn. This is so you don't give options, by the way? Do you have options?
Nope. Whatever kitchen gadget comes to your brain, right? Whatever thing from the kitchen comes to mind, that's what I say go for that.
Maybe. And this is more on the hilarious side. Maybe a dishwasher. Because
Oh,
you'll need clean dishes, right? So,
yeah.
yeah, there you go.
I
And this
love
is
that.
such a spontaneous answer.
That's the whole point of the question is to
Great.
be the spontaneity of the answer. I love that so much. Oh my gosh. Okay, so if people want to connect with you, I will have all the links below, but definitely tell everyone where they can connect with you, and any places that you are, anything that you have to give away.
Sure. So we can definitely be connected on Facebook and on Instagram. Both of these places, it's by my business name, which is the Bespoke Designs. And yeah, I do have a lead magnet because we're talking lead magnets. So I have a lead magnet template in itself, right? So guys, if you are planning to collect leads, definitely you might want to create a checklist or a PDF or an ebook or a template. So my lead magnet template will provide you with all of those options. And then you can go ahead and create your freebie or your lead magnet so that you can generate leads and bring in those amazing subscribers that you're looking for. So that's going to be the link, of course, which I've already shared, and you can check it out.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being on the podcast today. It was such a pleasure to talk to you. And I
Thank you
look
so much for
forward.
having me.
You're welcome. Wow, what a great interview. Thank you so much for showing up here on the Chaos to Clarity podcast. Again, my name is Maggie. I'm so excited to connect with you. You can find all of the information, all of the links below in the show notes for today's interview. And I hope you have the best day ever.